Students, welcome to the subject Database Management System. We are in session 9, that is, we are in the ninth lecture. And today's topic is Database System Concepts and Architecture. And we'll be dealing with the introduction part of it. Students, at present we are in chapter number 2, and the name of the chapter is Database System Concepts and Architecture. So we'll just introduce this chapter and know what are the terminologies and what are the concepts that we're going to study in this chapter. Database system concepts. 1. The architecture of DBMS packages has evolved from the early monolithic systems where the whole DBMS software package is one tightly integrated system to the modern database management system packages that are modular in design with a client server system architecture. Students, at present we are trying to know architecture of the database management system. So earlier it was a monolithic system. That means there was a single layer or single entity called database management system software, and it was a integrated system. But later on development took place, and today we got modern DBMS, which is a package of various modules, and we have adopted client server system architecture. That is, database is in the server and clients access the database through the server. Second point, this evolution mirrors the trend in computing, where the large centralized mainframe computers are being replaced by hundreds of distributed workstation and personal computers connected via communication networks to various types of server machines. Students, earlier there was a mainframe computer which was a central processing system, and today, as the computer generations have evolved, we have got distributed workstation, okay, and personal computers which are connected through a network. So there is no central mainframe. Instead of that, there is distributed computing facility at various points which is interconnected. And now we have server machines. The various types of server machines are web server, database server, file servers, application servers, and so on. Now we'll know what is client server architecture. Point number 1. In the basic client server architecture, the system functionally is distributed between two types of modules, client module and server module. Students, in the client server architecture, we have got two modules. One is called server module, another is called client module. Point number 2. A client module is typically designed so that it will run on a user workstation or personal computer. Typically, application programs and user interfaces that access the database run in the client model. Students, the client model runs on the workstation where user is working with whether he could be working on the desktop or with a personal computer, and the application programs and user interfaces that are very much required to run the database are available in the client module. Hence, the client module handles user interaction and provides user-friendly interfaces such as forms of menu-based graphical user interfaces. Students, hence, user-friendly interfaces are available at client, okay, module. Point number 6. The other kind of module called server module typically handles data storage, access, search and other functions. Students, okay, in the client server architecture, the server module is at the server end where data is stored. So it handles data storage, access to the data, searching the data and other related functions. Now, what are the concepts that we are going to study in this chapter? These are point number 1. In this chapter, we shall study more basic concepts and terminology that will give us a better understanding of the modern database architecture when they are presented later in this subject. So, students, in this chapter, we are going to study concepts and terminologies which shall help us to know the subject better. Point number 2. In section 2.1, we discuss data models and define the concepts of schemas and instances which are fundamental to the study of a database system. So, in the section 2.1, we will study data models, okay, and also will define concepts of schemas and instances. Continuing further, in section 2.2, we shall discuss the three schema DBMS architecture and data independence. This provides a user's perspective on what DBMS is supposed to do. Point number 4. In section 2.3, we describe the types of interfaces and languages that are typically provided by DBMS. Fifth, in section 2.4, we discuss the database system software environment. Now we'll know what is data model. Point number 1. One fundamental characteristics of the database approach is that it provides some level of data abstraction by hiding details of data storage that are not needed by most database users. So students, the characteristics of database approach is to provide data abstraction where we hide details and only consider required characters of the data. Point number 2. Data abstraction generally refers to the separation of details of data organization and storage and highlighting of the essential features of an improved understanding of the data. Point number 3. One of the main characteristics of the database approach is to support data abstraction so that different users may perceive data at their preferred level of detail. Students, for database, there are very many different users who are going to access the database. We have studied various types of end users. So they require different level of data abstraction. A data model, point number 4, a data model is a collection of concepts that can be used to describe the structure of a database. Point number 5, it provides the necessary means to achieve this abstraction. Point number 6, by structure of a database, we mean the data types, relationships, and constraints that should hold on data. So, by structure of the database, we mean what is going to the data type, whether it is numeric or alphabetic or whether it is boolean and all this. Relationships, how the two data items are related to each other. and the constraints. Constraints means what are the limitations or conditions that hold on the data. Point number 7. Most data models also include a set of basic operations for specifying retrieval and updates on the database. Students, we very well know when there is a database, we are going to read the database. For that, we have to retrieve the data, or we may write the database to the database. So that is called as operation. Hence, most data models also include set of basic operations for specifying retrievals and updates on the database. Students, we have begun with this chapter number 2, where we will be studying database system concepts and architecture. So this is very simple, but this forms the basis of your, okay, uh, this forms the basis for study of further subjects. So please pay attention for this chapter. You please write this PDF file which I'll send in the notebook and update yourself. If you got any doubt, you can give me a call. Thank you.